Hello everybody! How are we doing this fine patch day? I'm in a very good mood because there's almost nothing I have to talk about. Meaning this is going to be real quick. Trade-off though, the Friday was pretty brutal. Oh boy. So yeah, the content drop today is pretty light. Because there's no extra gacha suits, there's no Twitter videos to look at or anything. This is going to be super fast. It's literally just looking at the event suit, checking out the event shop, and that's pretty much it. I'm okay with it though, because it's nice to sometimes get a little bit of a breather from the like hour-long streams I sometimes have to do for this, hour and a half, and then there was that really bad one that was, it was like 3 hours or something. So, all right. What am I doing here? I meant to go to the shop. So we're gonna start off looking at the Super Zaku F2000, I think it was. Should be. I got like no fragments. Yeah, I barely played that event. I don't know why. It was just something with the last few days. I just didn't get any drive to really sit down and play it. So we're going to take a look at the Gundam and the pilot. Do remember, this is technically the last Sokai of the month, at least based on this. So we get the pilot too. Yeah. The Zaku thinks it's a Dom. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the Super Custom Zaku F2000. Yeah. Alright. While Zaku type, EX skill power boost by 25%. It's actually pretty interesting to see. I think this is like... This is either the first or the second decent trait that's activated by Zaku type. So it's nice to see. It's really really different. The EX skill power boost is solid. I have no real complaints about that. I guess the only issue would be the Zaku type, but it's still a decent melee tertiary tag because it does give you extra armor, which as a melee you are getting up close and personal, so chances are you're going to take a clip or two, but it does give you the melee 5% extra as well, which, you know, it's kind of useful. For computers, I'm not such a big fan of the 4 line of tags there. Statistically, interesting. We're looking at about 1900 shot attack, which is on the very low side, even for a welfare. And then melee wise, we're looking at about 900, almost 1000. That's not too bad. It is a welfare head. Welfare heads typically don't have a lot of melee to begin with, so the fact this even approaches 1000's not too bad. Overall, though, I'd say this is kind of a meh part. It's not terribly amazing. It's not bad. The trait's pretty decent, though, for what it is. Alright, torso. Man, there's a lot of parts of this suit. Holy smokes. Missile pod. B-powered D-pierce. Low cooldown. That's a very straightforward thing. We've seen this dozens of times now. Alright, cool. Statistically, we're looking at about 1000 melee attack and about 550, 600 shot. For a torso, it's definitely on the higher end as a welfare for the melee. On the lower end, I guess, arguably for shot. But it does have a ton of armor on it, which this kind of number you typically don't see in a welfare. But, you know, you look at the suit, the first thing you think is, this is a chonky motherfucker, and his numbers are kind of showing armor-wise. He takes a beating. Okay. Again, another okay part. At least the EX skill on that one is, you know, usable. It's not like a D power. Missile pods and Voltec M Gun Z, or Z. B power, D pierce, 6 seconds. Cool. Alright. Another, that sounds almost exactly like the torso one, just lots of missiles. I'm okay with that though, I guess. Numerically, ooh. Wow, we take the shot attack and we throw it out the window. So it actually has a decent amount of melee attack, because do remember this is a welfare, and this is actually approaching like 4-star tier stats base. So that's pretty good there just for melee. Shot-wise though, it's a little lackluster. Considering all the shot EX skills it has on it, the fact it comes out of box with friggin' 300 chain shot attack after using the best change gear, Woohoo! So confused. Zaku type for computers. Still don't like the 4 computers there, but you know what? That's okay. That's pretty much how I look at that part. It's okay. Legs. Hey, look. More shot EX. You got your options. D Pierce, B plus power, low cooldown. You just yeet a grenade. Now, okay. I got... when it comes to throwing grenades in the EX skill, the only thing that ever comes to mind for me is back from Alliance vs. SAF 2 Plus, when you use the... God, what was the name of that suit? Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm drawing such a friggin' blank. Zaku. Yeah, it's right there on my screen too. The custom Lacus Zaku, where its entire playstyle was throwing grenades and kicking things. So I see this, and the first thought that comes to mind is, I'm okay with this. You know, we're slowly approaching meme territory with where we're going with this. And that's actually, I was talking to a couple of friends of mine last night specifically about this game, and we were talking about suits we wanted to see and stuff, and I was like, for one, obviously, the Amaterasu, I've made that very clear. I want that really badly. Obviously, a better Lacus pilot as well. Preferably build project so she can be, you know, slotted and used, but if not, at least give us decent art. So, anyways. But I did also really want to see her custom Zaku, because that was so much fun to dick around with in that game. Because it was just grenade spam for days. And I thought it'd be really funny if we got that suit and it had a grenade throwing magazine or something, just so I could relive that time on the PS2. But anyways, back to what we were doing here. So on paper, you know, all these EX skills are looking solid with the B plus power on them and low cooldowns, but it does purely come down to the application. Like this, you throw a grenade. Does it have a large arc? Does it take a long time to get to its target? How big's the blast? Can it hit more than one thing? Does it work kind of like a missile and they just called it a grenade? Who the fuck knows? Let's be real. Zaku type. Okay, so we got rid of the 4 computers and we got a heavy armor tag. Heavy armor is another one of those tertiary tags that has some interesting usages. Nothing jaw-dropping though. Kind of, you know, it's there. It's pretty much the best way to look at it. It's a tag. It exists. You know, yippee-ki-yay. Statistically, we're looking at about 1100 melee attack, which for a pair of legs is good. Do keep that in mind. When it comes to the legs and the backpack, they always have the lowest stat distribution, at least on overwhelming average. So seeing them with numbers like this, pretty good. Pretty good. Shot attack, again, token amounts of shot attack here. I find this suit very interesting, even though it comes packed to the gills with so much shot EX, physical shot EX, mind you. It has barely any shot attack. Interesting. Alright, let's take a look at our backpack. Machine gun volley, A Pierce, D power. I'm not even going to read the rest of it. D power, it's going to hit like a wet noodle. Alright, numerically, what are we looking at here? Pretty much the same as the legs, actually. Okay. And yeah, it's pretty much the legs with a different EX skill. There's like no shot attack on this suit, which is really weird. Alright, it's Heat Hawk. With power attribute, job gauge increase boosted by 13%. Power attribute's really easy to get. I'm still not a fan of the job gauge though, so to me it's kind of limited use. And it does live up to the fact that, you know, it's a welfare, only has so much melee attack, but with the proponent there for, you know, the 3 marks, it does get pretty high up, but, you know, effectively anything from the 4-star pick ticket pool is going to approach 10k after you give it like 3 marks, or I guess 2 marks because they're base 4-star. Only the really bad ones are like 9k or subs, so yeah. Is it bad I want Mir to get a build project over Lacus? Man, if I ban him, does anyone have any issues with that? Because I can ban him. Alright. Yeah, really nothing amazing. Oh, this one has an EX skill. Cool. Deadly Circle. I take that back. That is... wow. Okay, so... A- Pierce, C Power. This is just not a very good EX skill, even though it does reduce the enemy's melee defense. It's just not... no. The weapon itself, I think, looks really cool, but the EX skill is just a complete write-off. Statistically, it's the same as the other axe as well. Alright, let's look at its first SMG, the S Custom MMP 80 90mm machine gun. That's a mouthful. No wonder they use so many acronyms in there, or shorts. When melee attacks over 5,000, shooting damage output boosted by 20. That's, no. That's gonna be a big no for me, dog. It is an SMG, so it does benefit, I guess, the most out of all the weapon types from the flat damage increase per shot. But this is something that's only going to really benefit brand new players. Literally, as soon as you start investing into your parts, that's going to fall off and it's going to be useless. Because early on, you know, free 10, 15 damage is a big deal. Sometimes that can be up to double your damage. But once your attack starts approaching, like, 3,000, 4,000, you're doing, you know, 100 plus damage a shot. And, you know, this just, it falls off because as soon as you start breaking like 15k attack, completely worthless. It's only good for like really gimmicky things, unfortunately. Yeah, it's literally good for that one niche mission where you have to use like flat damage stackers to, you know, kill the enemy. Outside of that, there's no use for this outside of like literally day one players. Alright, and the other one that has grenade. Oh. Okay, so to everyone that's doing this event, pick up the gun that has the magazine EX skill on it. It has 11 shots. It has B power. Yeah. Congrats. That's actually a very, very good EX skill to see on a welfare. I'm impressed. I think this is the third ranged weapon slot that has a magazine EX skill attached to it that's not hot fucking trash. So, nice. You know, it's got something going for it. Statistically, though, this gun is a little underperforming, but this can definitely be used on a custom skin. Chef's kiss, good stuff. Yeah, alright. Overall, the Super Custom Zaku F2000, it's okay. It doesn't have a lot of the stats it needs. It has a little bit of melee here and there. It has some shot. But unfortunately, it doesn't really capitalize on any of this. And the frame is just... it doesn't bring a lot of numbers to the table. I don't know if this is compensation for, like, the Cubily, but I don't... aesthetically, I think it looks really cool. I'll probably end up using it as a custom skin. And the gun, in my opinion, with the magazine, that's a good EX skill. That's a solid part. The rest of it, it's like bog standard stuff, right? The torso EX skill, it's a dime a dozen. The arm EX skill, again, not terribly uncommon to see. We're starting to see more, you know, B power quick animation EX skills in arms. Problem is, this one has no shot attack. Other ones do, even token amounts, right? So, overall, it's not a terrible suit, but it just doesn't bring the numbers it needs to even be considered like a mid-tier welfare. It has armor, but who the fuck cares? I'll probably end up using it as like a custom skin suit, yeah. Didn't the Sinanju have a mag skill? Yeah, that's actually the first one that came to mind was, well, actually, I can show you guys on my custom skin. Can I access that from here? No, of course not. That'd be too convenient. But my shot custom skin, the way that I've configured it is all of the EX skills are packed into the weapon, or sorry, the weapon and shield slots. So, yeah, as you can see, I can make the frame whatever I want, but that's where I'm drawing the stuff from. Let's see. Oh, no. Come on. Let me select. No, not allowed to select through this? That's kind of silly. I'll probably select through here though, right? No? Wow. Stingy game. Anyways, end of the day. It's a suit. It exists. It's not terribly good numerically. It has one really good EX skill on it. It looks good, but frankly, it's kind of meh. So, what skill does... Okay, so the way that the numbers are split up, if it's shot, it uses your shot. If it's melee, it uses melee. It doesn't matter if it's physical or beam. All that matters is if it's melee or shot. So the way that the game divvies it up is you have physical damage and you have beam damage. And then it's further separated between melee and shot. So you can have a physical melee skill, you can have a physical shot skill, you can have a beam melee skill, you can have a beam shot skill. And they have their pros and their cons attached to it. And it mostly boils down to what the enemy resistances are. We've had some gimmicky fights where, for example, the enemy has true beam resist, so you have to use physical to do any damage to it, and so forth. A lot of traits will specify when you use beam, your damage is increased, meaning you have to use either beam shot or beam melee, and it'll affect those. And yeah, that's pretty much all it boils down to, but if it's a shot EX, it scales off your shot. Doesn't matter if it's physical or beam, and obviously the same goes for melee. Anyways, last thing I want to do here is I just want to take a peek, see what chips we got in shop here. High firepower, GM type, high mobility, support type, and 4 base. Okay. I guess I can take some more high firepower and high mobility. Yeah, I don't really use much of the other ones, as you can see here. I stopped collecting them once I passed like 80, so. New alterations. I'll check. I don't believe there are any new alterations here. The Zaku 2, I'm almost 100% sure is a rerun. Ooh, are those new? Zong and Beginning 30. I don't recognize these. These are new, aren't they? It's never that easy, is it? Alright, so I'll punch out the Zong first, and then we'll do the old Beginning 30, and then I'm out of here. Gonna peace out. Alright, so for anyone that hasn't watched me talk about alterations before, the only thing I look at is the EX skill or the trait, because it's safe to assume the numbers are always going to increase. We've had less than 10 parts in the entire game that have had their stats drastically changed to be worse, I guess. But each player to their own. Make sure you check the numbers before you do alteration. Do your own research before investing the materials if it's a big deal to you. But it's safe to assume it's only going to see a flat increase. Word tags obviously don't change. The only thing that does change with an alteration, truly, is the EX skill of the trait. So that's all I look at. Alright, bit about a booth. Let's take a look. Point blank shot. A plus pierce, A power. Cutscene. Unleash a decisive destiny-changing attack. Raise shot attack of your squad by 39%, raise shot defense of your squad by 19%. That's actually not a terrible multiplier. Do keep in mind, we have 59% as the highest, 54% as the second highest, 49% as the third highest, and then 39% as fourth highest. I swear I can count. For a 4-star part that's in the pick ticket pool, this is... yeah, pretty good. And yeah, you are right. The initial cooldown on this being 4 seconds makes it really viable as a quick opener burst. It's a shame that it only has A power, not like A plus or S, but again, this is a pick ticket part. You can just grab as many copies as you want as long as you have the tickets at practically any time. And as this is a permanent alter, you can obviously just go and alternate it for all these awesome bonuses. So I think it's actually kind of well balanced in that sense. I'd say solid upgrade. Alright, torso. Can never escape the alts. Man, get out of here. Alright, with speed attribute, EX skill cooldown reduced by 20%. Very easy to activate the speed attribute. There's 5 or more parts that are speed, and you get an EX skill cooldown reduction. Nice. On top of that, with speed attribute, EX skill power boost by 35%. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Sokai? Dude, this is on par with Sokai parts. Holy shit. Nice. Damn. As long as your suit is speed, you get really good symbiotic boosts. Damn. Good shit. Good shit. 5-barrel mega particle cannon, A+, pierce, B+ power. You just, detach and fire beams. Big pew pew. Low cooldown. If I remember right, the animation on this isn't terrible. So, okay. It's an EX skill. Not a magazine, not a cutscene. It's in that, middle-ish, I'd almost say sweet spot, but it's not really a sweet spot, It does its job, though. Especially with the little increase in juice. What are you waiting for? Alt it. Well, I think that's what I'm waiting for. Give me a second, though. Let me... Yeah, I know the conditions aren't met. I want to upgrade it. There we go. Tune me up. Because I can alternate gold, I'm pretty sure, on this sucker. It's a permanent, so I'm not really in a huge rush. Conditions not met. No, it does have to be a 6-star. You're not able to alternate 5. I guess they only do that for, the Sokai and the Sokai and the Fest parts. Alright, Zong, upgrade, C. That's actually a really good parts. This is a net gain for me. Jackpot. And I actually do have speed primary suit, so I may actually slot that in. That's pretty good. Alright, legs. Where we're going with that. Alright. So, torso, mega, particle cannon. B+, B+, cutscene cooldown. Fire at enemies ahead with the mega particle cannon equipped to your waist. Alright, B+, B+, on paper, should hit pretty hard. It has a reasonable cooldown, considering. But, yeah, alright. I'll take it. It's not as good as the torso, and I would argue the arms got a pretty good upgrade. Torso, nah. It's a thing. It exists. Whatever. Alright. Let's take a look at our beginning 30. Random question, did they decide to stop doing the larger scale parts? No, I got a feeling they just kind of shelved it until they had more of an idea of what parts should be bigified. Largified? Boosted in size? Whatever. You know what I mean. Anyways. Alright, Beam Vulcan. Oh, right, yeah, no, garbage. No amount of alteration will fix that. When armor is 60% or more, EX skill cooldown reduced by 20%. Very easy to keep your armor above 60. Don't get hit. With technique attribute, EX skill power boost by 35%. So this is a lot like the Zong torso. However, it does have the requirement that not only do you need to have a technique suit, but you got to keep your armor above a certain value. Shouldn't be terribly hard to do, and it's just as symbiotic. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Arms. Outfighter Job, melee power boost by 30%. After 10 seconds pass, reduce cooldown by 50% once. So that has a lot of use. You can use that. Actually, no, you can't use that on those min-max battle circuit builds because those take 3-4 seconds to clear stages now. But you could use that, theoretically, multi-missions, depending on how quick you're able to clear them. Potentially arena, if you're not racing for, the 1-second clears or anything. At least it's not the 20-second, I think is the best way to put it. Has good amount of use. Good amount of use. Yeah, what are these permanent torso upgrades? These are crazy, actually. Both torsos got really, really good upgrades there. Alright, IFS Unit Barrier. Raise your shot defense by 29%, raise your beam resist by 49%. Alright, so this is the big old defensive buff. The beam resist upgrade is pretty solid at 49%, but the shot defense boost is really low. Coupled with that, you're wasting an awakening slot buff for defensive. Personally, Don't think that's the best idea. If this was at least squad, you could put on a support, a suit that you bring in with you, and you could do stuff, but it's only for the suit it's equipped on. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Each to their own, obviously. IFS unit combo. Raise shot attack of your squad by 39%. Raise beam resist by 69. 69. Alright, S power. It actually got a really good upgrade there. I wish the shot attack buff was a little higher, but again, this is a permanent 4-star part, so this is probably the highest we can ask for, frankly. Solid upgrade in my opinion. You get S power on that, you get your shot attack boost. Nice. Alright, Beam Cyber. 26% chance of attacks penetrating super armor. That's how likely is your attack to make the enemy stagger. Yeah, it's really useful for like bosses and stuff that have really high resist to that, or for player units that have really high flinch resist. When armor is 60% or more, melee power boosts by 35%. Okay, again, don't get hit, and it's good. Oh, does that EX miss often, the backpack one, really? You know, I vaguely remember that being a complaint when the suit first came out. I don't think I have this backpack. Do I? Oh, I do. As you can see, I don't use it. Yeah. So I'll amend the backpack then. On paper, it looks really good, but in practice, you have to land it, which I do remember that there was an EX skill on a backpack that was a pain to land. That wasn't the X. The X's satellite cannon was a travesty. You so much as sneeze at it while it's charging and you just waste it. Ugh. Alright, back to where we were. Beam Rifle beginning 30. Initial EX skill charge boosted by 20% when attacking with beam. Melee crit rate boosted by 40%. So at least the multiplier on the melee crit rate boost is solid at 40%, but I don't like crit rate, and from what I've heard from other people, they don't like using it either. Again, each their own builds. If you want to build a 100% crit build, go for it. Don't let anyone stop you. Just, you know, the game's already based off RNG. Why do you want even the damage you do to be RNG that hard, right? Come on. Come on. The ICD cooldown, it's not as good as the general EX cooldown because EX skill cooldown affects initial and normal. Initial EX only affects before your first usage of it, so a little more limited use, but if you're using it to just burn through a fight really quickly and you don't need to use your EX skill more than once, dope stuff. Alright. Well, those are the two altars looked at. The torsos of both of them got a really nice upgrade. Like, that's some solid stuff. But other than that, like, alright, you know, they exist. Okay, guys, with that, I'm going to pop out and do some other stuff before crashing, because it's 11:30. Thanks for tuning in, and who knows, maybe we'll get a shadow drop in a few days. If not, then I will see you guys at the end of the month for the first banners of September. Peace out, guys. See you in the next one.